Ladies and gentlemen, this is another Seton's cast. This is a non-random spawn. We tried to balance it, kind of. So let's have a look at the teams. Starting here, this is me. I just randomly, I don't start with me usually, but it was just random. This is Seton playing air on air for the bottom team. This is Alchemist. He is the eco ward type of guy. He is usually playing in Navy spot. Usually he plays rock. Here we have Espo. He's a good player, and he's playing Yuri up front for the bottom side. I like this. He's one of the first in my cast who does, in my mind, the perfect factory positioning in between both maxes. And here we have BC Napalm, also an excellent naval player. He is playing Seraphim Rock for the bottom team. So this is a good team, I would say. Let's look at the opposition. Here we have Maverick, who is a casual Seton's player. He is good in 1v1 games, and or actually in those team games on smaller maps. He doesn't play Setons frequently. He's playing Aeon for the top side. Up front here we have Arand. He's a good front player. I think it's his strongest position. It's the position he is competitive in those high limit and those high level games. Here on the beach, this is BC Tiep playing Aeon for the top side. He's a strong naval player and will be a very good matchup over here. It will be a good matchup up front too, and it will be a good matchup over here, I think. And of course, the air player for the top team is BC Blackheart. He's an excellent player in any spot, and he will probably put me in a tough spot. So let's see what's gonna happen here. We see an early scout for Napalm and for Alchemist. This is definitely giving Espo a slight advantage here. We see, however, more ground forces early on. We see 2 tanks, no scout. We see 3 tanks and a scout. We see, however, 2 more tanks coming in. Around now, killing of the tanks. Espo's engineer died. Around the shooting, he should definitely be reclaiming. And there are some nice chunks of mass left. No more incoming troops as of yet for Espo. Nice job here by Alchemist. He's denying the island to Maverick, so Maverick cannot reach the island. He has absolutely 0 interceptors, and so Alchemist looks like he will take the island. On the other side, Napalm took his island, so so far it's looking okay for the bottom team. And there was 1 tank that got through, which Espo must take care of. Not sure if the reclaim runner was there already. No, this is let me check how old it is. Yeah, I cannot see now. This is I think it's from February. There is absolutely no navy for Alchemist yet. He is probably planning navy over here, getting huge build power on the island. Espo has Tech 2 and the gun. Our round has Tech 2 and the gun, so both commanders about equally powerful. Looks like a slight number advantage for Espo. Aran trying to get up a Tech 2 PD. This will die now. Since Espo has more units, Aran needs to back off here. It looks like more incoming forces now for Aran. Some nice bombing runs here for Maverick, although he should bomb engineers and not the Maxes. There were a couple of Swift runs, and you should always build them when you're AO. Because with Swift winds you can shoot down Tech 2 jobs. Looks like a pretty close race up in the air spot. Blackout having slight advantage in terms of mass income. Of course, he didn't build Swift winds, and he was later with the ASF. He doesn't have any ASF out here at almost 13 minutes. Well, there are a couple for me, but of course ASF do not win the game if there is no one abusing the fact that they are in play. And a drop getting shot down for Napalm. Alchemist's rush will probably end here. However, he has still 2 destroyers alive. But this is pretty close, and now there is a cruiser. Would be much better if it was a destroyer. Destroyer is still alive. One down. This will be pretty close over here. This is bad that those are paused. This destroyer must be finished. This looks like eco mod. He has no navy here, so this is all he has. He needs to save this production. Most likely this will get done. There is not a whole lot of forces left. There is another destroyer incoming, so this is really close. This destroyer is almost dead. 12 kills on him. 11 kills for this cruiser. And now another destroyer is done. This cruiser would shoot the shields, and those 2 destroyers would work together. And the engineers stopped supporting the factory. This is really critical now. Alchemist must try to get rid of that destroyer. But it looks like a retreat for Maverick. In terms of economy, Alchemist is 30 mass ahead of Maverick. Of course, Maverick does not have his natural advantage being closer to the island, because the island was denied. Blackheart having a 50 mass advantage over Sturbion, over me. And Tiep actually has quite a huge advantage over Napalm. This is very unusual, and maybe Napalm is out of power. No, I think he just finished his second resource allocation. But he is 50 mass behind. Does he have a huge naval force? He has 2 destroyers, 3. This is equally matched, so I don't know what he did, but he's behind. Blackheart really, no, actually it's not that big of a gap now. Let's check the ASF numbers. 48 against 25, so Blackheart definitely has early ASF advantage. Alchemist is getting second resource allocation system. In the front battle we did not have a look at it for quite some time. Espo should put up a shield here. It looks like even forces. Both with take 2 commanders and guns. We see a couple of mobile missile launchers around rebuilding the dead PDs. And when he sees with the spy planes, he is shooting the ground. Espo needs to use the range on his mobile missile launchers to break this position. More build power being put on here. 2 nice bombers, which did not drop bombs for some reason. So not so nice bombers. More incoming. Hard to tell, but with a couple of mobile shields, probably this force will make Napalm to retreat. Economies from Blackheart and me are dead even, of course. Blackheart has more ASF. Diab still having an 80 mass advantage over Napalm. Don't know what Napalm is doing. He should, I mean, he's rock. He has 18 maxes. Probably invested a little too early into Navy. Sometimes that happens, and then you can use your advantage to the max. It looks like no one will break through over here. We already see this is Tech 2 pillars. It's quite a huge force, and if he puts all those forces together, he will definitely break this. This is just 3 PDs, and if he uses his gun commander and all the Tech 1 forces, he will definitely overrun this. He should go for it. Blackheart wants an Omnisensor. Of course, you always want an Omnisensor, because without an Omnisensor you can not use your Air Force as well. Five destroyer, 2 cruiser, 6 destroyer against 6 destroyer, 1 cruiser, so pretty even forces, of course. With the mobile shield and the Tech 2 hover tank, this force is slightly superior. Still no navy being built over here. I do not agree with that. But it looks like Alchemist has doubled the economy of Maverick. So Maverick really forgot to get an economy up here. He is the only player who doesn't have resource allocation systems. Actually, the front players do not have resource allocation systems too, but they were fighting each other. So I think you should try. This is 34 pillars and 107 tanks. This will absolutely crush this position. This is 53, and so he has like 30 Tech 2 tanks advantage and 50 Tech 3, 50 Tech 1 tanks. He should definitely go in now, and after wiping out this position and wiping out this base, he has a nice chunk of reclaim for him. Meanwhile, Napalm still trying to fight the fight that he cannot win. He just doesn't have enough forces to break this. When we look at this, this is 12 destroyers, a couple of frigates and mobile shields, and Napalm has 9 destroyers, so he's behind. He's also behind in economy. He cannot make up. Now we see the first airfight, which I remember I will lose horrible. I think the micro is fine, but I definitely had a number disadvantage. There are no cruisers to fall back on. Here, Blackheart wins quite convincingly with 72 ASF left. This will not make the situation any better for Napalm, who was already losing, but now with the Tech 3 torps it will speed up the process. Meanwhile, it looks like there was a 200 mass disadvantage. Maverick is winning this navy also. In the middle, all those pillars are afraid. 107 strikers and 44 pillars. I mean, this is each has 1,500, so this is 70,000 HP. And this is insane. There is nothing to stop it, but it doesn't send it. No chickens planned. Do we see any nukes? No, no nukes. Any nukes over here? No. Just one nuke D and no nukes over here. This is nice, some SAM launches. This is what you should do. Now Blackheart trying to extend his lead. It's not nice, but at least there will be the reclaim from the dead ASF. You will see there will be a couple of Tech 3A really quick. In terms of power and economy, I have overcome Blackheart now. But of course I'm behind in ASF. More SAM launchers being moved. So he cannot patrol over my base for a long time. Meanwhile, more Tech 3 torpedoes. This was really bad for Napalm. Although Tiep, I think Tiep would win this anyway. But it speeds up the process and allows to win this navy faster, so Tiep can concentrate on other stuff. Blackheart had to retreat his Air Force now. There are like 10 SAM launchers up, so no more flying over the base. There's some nice reclaim over here. And Maverick actually with his 177 mass income is really put a hold to this navy. Packham is now getting Tech 3 subs. He has a huge economy. He has no pigeons, however. This commander must be upgraded to Tech 3. He needs a pigeon swam. Blackout, no more Tech 3 torps, one left, but Napalm complaining to Blackheart that the beach lost to Maverick. I don't think he has already lost, but of course this situation could have been prevented if Alchemist put a little more effort in his navy. Now I'm asking Aspo to massive T2 hover spam. Those pillars are still afraid. And now they have some Tech 3 bot with them and Tech 3 artilleries. So this should finally break this position. There's really no need for this position to be there. I mean, I'm not an expert in ground units, but I know this pillar is kind of strong, and I think 50 pillars and 100 Tech 1 tanks would definitely diminish this position and the whole base afterward. It would also be very good when he wipes out this position. He can concentrate on other stuff, which is much needed. Nepal saying I should not help his side, and he's probably right. This is not savable. I'm not a big fan of those pigeons in the middle of the map. With such a navy loss on the side. Alchemist saying he's okay. Might actually be okay. He has a slight disadvantage, but of course he has a much bigger economy than Maverick. I really want to see those pillars put to use. It's actually annoying. It's annoying me. Those artilleries, he should just move in. And Blackheart is not really caring about those torps, so they do more damage than they should. But of course they will not stop this force, they will just prolong it. We now see a huge hover spam planned by Nepal. It's just buying time, but you should always do it, of course, since when you buy time, other spots can win and do useful stuff. Stars being built by Sturbion. This is 120 ASF. And 10 restore. Blackheart is 200 ASF. So a restorer is like 4 ASF in terms of mass. So this was like 150 ASF. Of course, Blackheart still has a rather huge lead, but he's falling behind in economy and power and mass. So I'm pretty sure at this point that I will win air sooner or later. I should probably wait a little until the next air fight if I can choose. This position is still here, which is kind of ridiculous. The pillars are not used. Usually Aspo is using his forces quite well, but in this case Napalm says the game is lost. I'm not so sure about it. Of course it looks bad now, but It's not insane terrible. Pillars and take one things. If he doesn't want to use him, he should at least control Kaiser and suck up the mass doing other stuff. Alchemist getting take 3 pigeons. This is destroyer only. They did not shoot back, which is nice. Getting some free kills with the restore. Black Hat could deny it. And this ground force. And this base should have already been gone. Blackheart is using the range on his take 3 subs. Not Blackheart, Alchemist, and Maverick is about to get pushed back here. This is a lot of tech 3 and naval yards for Alchemist, and this is a huge shield and horror spam here. So now looks like the pillars decide to go in. This is definitely too late. He could have already now he's retreating again. I don't know why. He will face a chicken sooner or later, and then this force is not worth anything anymore. Seems like those restorers got some nice kills. Actually, Air Navy really has trouble against horror spam. So maybe Napalm actually has a huge spam, so he might prolong the destruction of his base a little. Seemed Blackheart got a little lazy and does not get full economy here. He has a nuke, however. He is now like 10 to 15k behind in power and 40 in mass. So, I remember having an insane amount of air factories. This is 26 air factories with 1 HQ. And Black Hat has 16 with 1 HQ, so he will sooner or later fall behind in ASF count. If he doesn't get an air fight within the next 5 minutes, he will fall behind. I think I make a mistake and fight air soonish. This is 270 against 340, so it's still 70 ASF disadvantage. I should definitely wait till I have even numbers or actually overcome him, which I for sure will with this superior production. Still, this force looks like this force. He control K the tanks now. This is good. He should control K the pillars also and suck up the mass if he doesn't use them. Now at minute 31 around goes for a chicken now. He's still behind on S-Pro like for like 70 mass. And Maverick actually made up some ground, closing the gap to 130 mass disadvantage. Napalm has 150 mass disadvantage, and Blackheart has like 40 mass disadvantage. So, not sure, but if I would count all economies together, it would probably be pretty even at the moment. Oh, there are the missile ships, and they will damage this economy now. More defensive structures for Napalm, more spam. And there is a sneaky nuke here. So it looks like there will be an airfight now. Styrion. With 345. Blackout was 411, so 50 SF advantage. And those subs must support now. It looks like Blackout will keep the upper hand here. So this was probably a lot better micro for Blackout. And he has 200 ASF left. So 50 to 200. He has 150 ASF lead. So he had 60 ASF lead before the airfight, and now has 150. So he made 90 ASF up in that fight, which is quite good. And at this point, I'm still absolutely convinced I will win air. Because I see the difference in terms of production. Aspo now getting some nice overspam. Of course, he's being attacked by missile ships and other navy. And this hover spam is still good. Napalm missed an opportunity to get this hover spam to Tech 2, because if it was Tech 2, he would really do a lot of damage to this navy also. Or maybe half and half against Aeon is a good choice. Aspo now losing his front base. I think Aspo could have really had a huge effect on the game if he pushed through here. And there is a lot of mass now to reclaim, of course. Remember, this was like 500 dead ASF, if I remember correctly. Even a bit more. 200 from Blackout, 350 from me. So, Looks like Diep plans a huge ASF spam, which will be bad, because then my plan to win air might fail. It's like no tick 2 hover spam over here, stopping the tick 1 hover spam. The space is still alive. Seraphim has also very good TMD, so he needs a couple more ships here. Espo doing a good job, I think. He could have a little more factories even. So he's trying to hold his base. The chicken will be finished soon, and I will put this position in trouble. Meanwhile, Archemist is about to win his navy. Blackheart with his ASF advantage might want to try to help here, but of course there's already flag brought with him, Archemist. Blackheart getting Tech 3 mass fabricators. Of course, you only want to build those when you're at unit cap, usually. Which might be the case with those huge ASF numbers. Blackheart 338 versus 189, so I'm mass stalling here, which is of course bad because you cannot produce ASF that quickly then. Well, the mass stall will end now with all that reclaim. This will probably be the end for Maverick's naval adventure. He has closed the gap to 75 mass disadvantage now. Diep having the third best economy in the game from beach. So Maverick is asking for help. And I think at this moment Blackheart could help Archemist with very little effort. There are just a couple of Tech 3 subs. This are the only ship that's shooting bases. So I think it would probably be worth the investment to hold this position for a little longer. He is sending Restorer in against the hover spam. It's probably a good choice. Blackheart saying there are Tech 3 shields and that he doesn't want to invest into helping Maverick because he's too dead. He's sending a nice Tech 3 top to kill one cruiser. Should send another to kill this one before it's shielded. Actually, there were some ASF given to to Napalm now. So Napalm has 90. Styrian has 310. And Blackguard has 400, so still 90 ASF disadvantage. And this is a nice bio round. He's killing the Tech 1 engineers, denying the reclaim. This is cool stuff. I like those that usage. And the nuke still not loaded. Alchemist having huge build power, getting more Tech 3 pigeons. He's also getting transports. He stopped sub-production, which is smart. Should get a couple of battleships. Now it looks like the front position is about to get lost, which is a pity because of course the opportunity was there to wipe out this front base, or at least force a reaction from Blackguard, an air interception or something. Aspo has already lost most of his Tech 3 maxes to the incoming cruise missiles. Napalm, however, is still spamming and still has the core base left, so he has still some engineers on the island. Looks like this hover spam is stuck. Aspo is running. The chicken. It's getting shot. And we see it, GC being built here. Still some reclaim left over here. Alchemist is asking if Maverick has an anti-nuke, and he suspects he doesn't, and he's right. There is no anti-nuke for Maverick. He has a nuke himself, but no anti-nuke. Blackguard has paused his Tech 3 mass fibs. He's having power issues. This is a huge missile ship force now, and it will overcome any number of TMDs, I would think. Almost any number of TMDs.
Strategic launch detected.
And there is the first nuke of the game here at min 37, shot by Alchemist. He is, if I remember correctly, he's targeting this position. Our round just finished his anti-nuke, so it could also go for mid, but from the angle I would suspect it goes for Maverick. And if Maverick doesn't run, I mean, if the nuke hits Maverick, it will definitely hit this position, killing the nuke. This is a nice eco farm for Tip. He is leading in terms of economy from beach. He will also probably have a lot of reclaim, which I cannot check at the moment. And the chicken died to the fat boy. Oh, there are some Percivals. Now there is YOLO now, started by Alchemist. Oh, actually the nuke did not go for Maverick. had went for Blackheart. Blackheart now getting an anti-nuke in this position. I think it was a nice hit. Took off a couple of pigeons and factories, one mass extractor. So Blackheart still has 500 ASF. Seton has 250 and 214, so that's still 25 less ASF. Here it meant 38. Napalm saying he's helping with YOLO now. All the nice reclaim is gone. Restorer now trying to kill off the fatty. The question is, will this lead to another air fight? This is a nice SAM area, so if we had a choice, we should probably fight over here. The fat boy is retreating. I guess it will die to the... Unless it gets saved, it will probably die to the restorer. I'm not sure. Looks like another air fight happening. This time it's about even numbers. Maybe we choose not to. Fatty down, so no more reason to fight here. Aspo doing this is very good stuff by Aspo. He realized we had no Omni, he rebuilt an Omni. This is good stuff, some SAMs. Perfect, he would place a shield here and maybe a stealth generator. Maverick still has a base and a loaded nuke. He should fire it before it gets killed. He's working on a donut. Actually, wasn't there a donut made by Blackheart earlier? I didn't see where this went. Anyway, now the missile ships over here now screwing Napalm's base. Napalm still has a huge hover spam. There is a huge hover spam for T up now. And, of course, as a rock, you have the disadvantage of having this small gap only, so you can only spam your units, and you can see those units are clustered, they're not getting through. So it's much harder for a rock to get a huge hover spam onto the water than it is for beach. Akamas is not putting a huge effort in damaging all those positions with his navy. He's not building a lot of navy. He has some battleships now. Of course, he's building YOLO now, and Napalm is helping. It seems like more ASF are given. Blackheart sitting on 560 ASF. Tib also has 31, so this is 590. Styrion has 200. And Asbo has 150, so that's 350. And Napalm having
Strategic
261,
launch
so
detected.
that is 600 against 590. So for the first time, bottom side has a slight lead in terms of ASF. Now a nuke being fired by Maverick. It's going to hit here. There was one nuke deloaded, so it will be defended. And there is another chicken. Espo. I think Espo played really well, except for the mistake not to attack, which would have allowed him to be in a much more comfortable position, having no opponent then. But the GC will probably stop the chicken. This is just take 1 unit. He also has like 10 Percivals, so, even more, 12 maybe. So he will definitely stop this force. And if he gets lucky, he will get the reclaim once more. And 240 mass invested by me into the Yolana. 300, no, actually 300 invested, 360 by a Napalm, and 360 and 420 invested by Akamast. So everyone gives a little. More nuke these. Another nuke D. More economy for Diab. And there is a Zar now. Let's see how it does. There is flag. And if you micro those ASF correctly, they do not fly under the beam. This game was played before the beam nerf. So if you pay attention. It gets down with just very few kills and no red up. This is a nice chunk of mass. Of course, in order to get the reclaim, you need to kill the hover tanks first. Yep, is almost unit capped. Blackheart is almost unit capped. Around has 600 more units he could take, and another 600 that Maverick could take. Blackheart 611 ASF, and TF 55. So that's 665 or so. 250. That's 480. And 730. So still a slight advantage for the bottom side. Not by much, but a little. And of course, your Lola horse is almost done. Just 2000 left. There is lots of mass in mid. Esper should get the reclaim. The GC died somehow. Don't know how. The Perseus is still alive. And another nice chunk of mass over here. And Blackheart has started the Paragon. He's not building it though. Although Napalm had lost Navy like 20 minutes ago. He's still having a base, which will probably be defeated rather soon now. Clean ocean. GC being built in water by Tiep. Also a very clean ocean over here. And Tiep also likes the reclaim. And this should kill this position, start nuking all the nuketies. Probably you never want them to finish that, and with the Yolana being done now, it's very easy to just deny the Paragon. Of course you must nuke in the correct place. I remember Alchemist failing to do so for some reason. The good thing is that the bottom side has air control now, or at least even forces, so it will get hard for the top side to get rid of the Yolana. Alchemist wants to build a Paragon now, of course. If we wanted to build a Paragon, we should have done it instead of the Yolana. And now this must be enough to win the game. And surely it is. There are no. There's just one nuke D loaded here, and 0 nuke Ds here, 0 nuke Ds here. So this position is dead. If he starts nuking it now. All ASF have, or most of the ASF have been given to Napalm.
Strategic launch detected.
This is a waste. There's only one position that is important, and that is this position. 550 ASF for Napalm.
Strategic launch detected.
And this nuke, one nuke made. Just 50, so that's 600 ASF. And Espo has another 220. So this is 830 something. And Blackout has 670. This is an insane amount of ASF. So this is 750 plus 830 or so. This is gigantic air forces. Looks like Yolana will hit. And that's the end of Maverick space. Very nice nuke shot. Now, this is the only place to nuke. Deny the Paragon. Now Maverick hates Setons. All those engineers should support Yolonaos. You can see I sent more engineers. It's just there is not much you have to do when you have this weapon up. You just need to make it shoot frequently into your weapon. The Paragon is just 25% done, a little more. This will never get finished if Alchemist shoots this position. Still some chunks of reclaim left for Espo. And the GC4T appear at minute 46, running into this base. Another chicken up front. Yolona, almost loaded. This is very dangerous. You should never patrol that many ASF over Yolona Oz. Actually, you shouldn't patrol a single ASF over Yolona Oz. I see some drama incoming. This is bad.
Strategic launch detected.
This was close. He's nuking the front, and this is a mistake. I'm telling Napalm to not park his ASF there, and I'm telling Alchemist that he should only nuke this place. There is, and this is the only place that is of any value. You can nuke any other place later on, but this is their plan to win the game, and if they get it up and have enough build power, this is a chance for them to counter. Don't know what happened here, probably a teleport. Alchemist saying yes, it was his arrow, and the next one will go here. Let's see if that will happen. Meanwhile, Diab diverted his hover spam over to the other side. This nuke hit. Another very nice nuke shot. We get a lot of kills. Alchemist needs some destroyers. Destroyers are much better than battleships. The fatties are kind of cutting off the Auroras moving. Alright, survived with his commander. It's still only halfway done and should be under heavy Yolona fire. You can see Napalm doing the right thing, getting more build power on this Yolona. Alchemist should really support with all his engineers. Chicken being given to Napalm. This chicken, this GC is annoying. Those missile ships have the potential to kill those players in the lake. like run out of the lake, they're in danger of dying to the GC. So this is now there is quite some build power on it. It's a little over 60% done. Maverick slowly rebuilding his base. He also has a GC in water. Faddies are killing the horse spam. The battleship there'll be some nice mess here in the water. Now Nepal must be careful. There are some mercies coming in. But if Nepal looks like Nepal is out of danger. Alchemist now. There is a chicken coming in. And this nuke is also kind of valuable. It should be
Strategic
out of
launch
danger
detected.
now. 30k HP left. Still a couple of restore. Incoming mercies chicken. And there should be no one of danger. Nepal should walk his commander back into the safe zone. Yolonal also is launched, and this is now the correct target, or well, actually there is absolutely no reason not to shoot here. I do not know why he would shoot here and let the Paragon not take the full damage. This is 3 chickens. Some strategic bombers by Blackout. They successfully kill one fatty. Of course, with this many battleships, those can easily get shot. Nipper in the port. Now there is finally enough build power. Alchemist still does not support his super weapon, which he should. Let's see how many nuke these are loaded. 0, 1, 2, so 1. So this is 4 nukes and should defend. Nuke fucking power. Yeah, this is what you should do. Because ASF must be moved. And now the missile ships start hitting my pigeons, which is very not nice.
Strategic launch detected.
Another nuke. Again, same position. You should just nuke directly on the Paragon. That's I don't know why he doesn't nuke the Paragon. Battleships come in. One GC against 2 chickens left. The chickens will run through their own lightning bolt. There is a fatty and another chicken. This will definitely be stopped and leave more mass for the bottom side. Of course, there is actually no more mass needed. Just about shooting nukes. But it's nice to have it. Blackout has 1, 2 nucleus left, so if this is in range of the actual target, you will defend it. And It got shot down. The Paragon is almost finished, which is bad. Should never happen. This nuke must be shot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. He does shoot. He must nuke directly.
Strategic launch detected.
And again he nukes the wrong place. I don't know why he did that. Directly here. Actually directly here, whatever. Anywhere where we can see Alchemist. I cannot. Did I just save a Yolona template? I did. I do not want that. So the top side has Paragon up. What are they doing? Tip started another Paragon. Of course, this Paragon belongs to Blackheart at the moment, and Tip should just give all his engineers to Blackheart. Yolona will not be defended, and that will be the end of Blackheart.
Strategic launch detected.
Yes, it should be. I don't know who would nuke here. This is just insane bad. Somehow, strangely, the Paragon somehow survived this nuke shot. And the second nuke is misplaced as well, which is totally ridiculous. How far? Tiep has just started his second Paragon. Now the Paragon blows up. There's some bug with the Paragon being given and exploding. Of course, it did not matter for the outcome of this game, since this position
Strategic
shot
launch
another nuke
detected.
into nowhere. Actually, maybe this nuke would have gotten the Paragon, I don't know. Yeah, he would have gotten the Paragon, I think, and now so the Paragon was dead either way. T-Book is talking about 3 Paragons, which is a straight out lie. They had just started the second one. So 749 kills on this. So now it's just waiting for the death. If this was a regular nuke. This is a big one. We see now an air fight. So things might speed up a little. Looks like this will hit. Would have of course been best to nuke these first so they do not load anymore. But this will
Strategic
hurt.
launch detected.
Now he's switching the targets again, not on the variable target. I totally disagree with Maverick here. I think this was a very interesting game. Now this game has desynced, but there is this game is absolutely decided. This Paragon is about 60% done, but it will never be finished. And I think we saw a good game. Very early Navy decision over here with the help of Blackout. Early air domination by Blackout. This ocean was swapping back and forth around hold, and Espo did not push when he could have, but I think I lost both airfights, but I never had that huge of a disadvantage, so that Blackout could really totally abuse his air advantage. And well, actually he didn't do a whole lot after those initial Tech 3 top that he had built to help Tier. I think Blackout did not build an offensive unit, which was good, because that allowed us to win. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching, and see you for the next Seton's cast. By the way, the bottom side wins. Okay, goodbye.